Welcome to another episode of Explained by AI. Today we're going deep on Supra.
Supra.
Yes, Supra. It's this cryptocurrency. It's making a lot of noise.
Yeah,
They want to be way more than just another coin, though.
I see.
It's like a whole ecosystem they're building,
Yeah,
for this future where we're all using blockchain every day for everything.
interesting.
So what is Supra?
Well, think of it like this. Supra's a layer 1 blockchain platform, kind of like Ethereum.
Okay, Ethereum. Got it. So like the base layer.
Exactly. It's like the foundation you build on. But the thing is, they've integrated a bunch of stuff directly into that foundation.
What kind of stuff?
Well, they've got these oracles built right in that provide data to the network.
Okay, makes sense.
And then there's verifiable random functions, VRFs, for, well, randomness, and automation tools, too, to keep things running smoothly.
So it's feature-packed.
Oh, yeah. And they've even got cross-chain communication built in so it can talk to other blockchains.
So they're not just trying to be a Bitcoin killer.
Not at all. They're aiming way higher than that.
Ambitious. But are they trying to do too much?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But they're claiming some pretty incredible speeds, like up to 500,000 transactions per second.
Wow.
And they say finality is less than a second.
Really?
Yeah, compare that to something like XRP, which is known for its speed. XRP takes like 3 to 5 seconds per transaction, and it can only handle 1,500 per second.
So huge difference.
Huge. If those numbers are legit in the real world, then we could be talking about a real game changer.
That's a big if, though.
It is.
So what's the secret sauce? How do they get that kind of performance?
Well, it's all about their consensus mechanism. It's called Moonshot.
Moonshot.
Yeah, it's totally different from Bitcoin's proof of work, which uses all that energy.
Right.
And it's not like proof of stake where you got to lock up your tokens. Moonshot's more like a rotating leader system. Different validators take turns proposing and validating blocks.
So more like cooperation than competition.
Exactly. And they claim it can finalize blocks with just 3 messages between nodes.
That's efficient.
Insanely efficient. Like a perfectly choreographed dance. Everyone knows their steps, and they move fast, in sync.
That sounds a little too choreographed.
Yeah. That brings up a potential problem.
Decentralization.
Exactly. How decentralized can it really be if it's that controlled? Some people are even comparing it to Ripple Labs and their control over XRP.
Not a perfect system, then.
No system is perfect, but they say they're aiming for decentralization. We'll have to see how it plays out in practice.
Okay, so we've got this fast platform.
Yeah.
But where does this whole world computer idea fit in? It sounds like they're going for something bigger than just fast transactions.
Right. Their world computer vision is about integrating everything. They want to build it all within Supra. No need for different tokens and networks for every little thing.
Makes sense. So one platform to rule them all.
Basically.
And that could be appealing to developers, right?
Definitely. Especially if it means they can build faster, cheaper solutions.
Which is what everyone wants.
Exactly.
I've also heard about these things called super containers. What are those?
Crypto containers. Oh, those are interesting. They were like little dedicated spaces within the main blockchain.
Okay.
Like developers can build their own apps in these containers, and each one can have its own rules.
So it's like having your own little blockchain.
Kinda. It gives developers more control and flexibility. They can tailor their environment to their app.
Cool. So we've got the platform, the speed, the vision. But what about the token? Where does SuperAcre fit into all this?
Cerebro, well, it's the fuel for the whole ecosystem.
Okay.
It's what powers transactions, pays for those integrated services, and even gives holders a say in governance.
So it's not just for trading on exchanges.
Nope. They want it to have real use cases within the super world. Right now it's trading around 3.5 cents with a market cap of $343 million.
And it's listed on exchanges.
Yeah, several. And the ecosystem's growing, but it's still super early.
So lots of potential, but also lots of unknowns. What should people be watching out for with Supra? Any red flags?
Well, besides that centralization thing we talked about, the biggest question is whether they can actually deliver on all these promises.
Yeah, that's a lot to live up to.
A lot of it hinges on independent verification. We need to see real-world results, not just theoretical claims. It's like, imagine a brand new sports car, right?
Okay.
It's got all these amazing specs on paper,
Right.
looks fantastic in the brochure,
Sure.
but you really don't know how it performs until you take it for a spin.
I see.
The recent mainnet launch, that was Supra's first test drive.
Okay.
It went from this testnet environment to a live blockchain, open for business, ready for developers, for users, for everyone.
So they've officially launched. How'd it go? What's been happening since?
Well, the launch was a big deal, got a lot of attention.
I bet.
The Supra team, they've been busy building out the ecosystem,
Yeah.
really focused on getting developers and apps onto the platform.
I think so.
Oh, and they're working on expanding Supra's ability to talk to other blockchains.
Cross-chain stuff.
Yeah, for a truly interconnected blockchain world.
Like a city wouldn't thrive if it were totally isolated.
Exactly. So they're integrating with the big players like Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, building bridges between all these different ecosystems.
And the mainnet launch also meant the CPRA token got listed on exchanges.
Yep.
So now anyone can buy and trade it.
Yeah.
Has that had a positive impact?
Definitely. Being on exchanges gives them visibility, credibility, makes it easier for people to invest, trade the token.
Right.
Which also increases liquidity. The token's done pretty well since the listing, too.
That's a good sign. So things seem to be moving in the right direction. What's next for them? What's on the roadmap?
Ambitious roadmap. Developer outreach is a top priority.
Okay.
Offering incentives, support programs, trying to make Supra really developer-friendly.
Gotcha.
Also, exploring some new use cases for the tech, going beyond the usual blockchain stuff.
It sounds like they're pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
But tell me about the team. Who are these people? Are they up to the task?
They've got a really experienced team, people from tech, finance, you name it.
Solid background.
Oh, yeah. Josh D. Topkin, the CEO, he's got a great track record building tech companies.
So he's the captain steering the ship.
Exactly. And he's a big believer in blockchain, thinks it can really change the world. Then you've got Dr. Aniket Kate, their chief scientist.
Okay.
He's the brains behind Moonshot. Real expert in cryptography, distributed systems, all that.
And they have a good team supporting them.
Oh, yeah. Talented developers, researchers, marketing folks, community managers. Everyone's committed to making Supra a success. They've even got a strong board of advisors.
Industry heavyweights.
Yep. Veterans, venture capitalists, thought leaders, providing guidance and support.
So sounds like they've assembled a solid crew.
Yeah.
But every project has its challenges, right? What about Supra? Strengths, weaknesses, that sort of thing.
Well, their main strength is definitely the tech. Moonshot, those integrated services, multi-VM support. It all gives them an edge in terms of speed, efficiency, and it makes them attractive to developers.
Right.
They've also got a strong team, and the community is growing fast.
Community is important.
Super important. They provide feedback, they test things out, they spread the word.
So what about the weaknesses? Where do they need to improve?
Being a newcomer, it's tough.
How so?
I mean, they have fresh ideas, which is good,
Right.
but they still got to build a reputation, prove the tech works in the real world, grow their user base.
Catch up to the competition.
Exactly. And those other platforms, they've got a head start.
So like running a marathon, but they started a few miles behind everyone else.
That's a good way to put it.
What opportunities do they have to close that gap?
Well, there's a huge demand for faster, cheaper, more scalable blockchains.
Makes sense.
If they can deliver, they're in a great position. Plus, there's this growing interest in real-world applications for blockchain.
And that's what Supra's all about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wind's at their back in some ways, but what about the headwinds? What are the threats?
Competition is fierce.
Right.
The blockchain space is crowded. Lots of platforms with tons of resources, big communities. And then there's regulatory uncertainty. Governments are still trying to figure out how to deal with crypto.
Could change the game overnight.
Absolutely. And of course, there's always the risk of security breaches. Any blockchain's a potential target.
So it's a tightrope walk.
It is.
Pushing innovation while protecting against all these threats.
They've got to find that balance.
It sounds like they've done well with community engagement so far. How important is that for a project like Supra?
Community engagement, it's everything.
Really?
Absolutely. It's like building a city. You need citizens who are invested in its growth.
I see.
Supra's been active on social media, forums, doing AMAs.
Engaging with people.
Yep. Listening to feedback, building relationships with their supporters. They even have ambassador programs, bug bounties, hackathons.
Giving the community a way to get involved.
Exactly. It's not just talk. They're putting in the effort.
So they're walking the walk.
Yeah.
But what are the challenges on that front?
Well, managing expectations is key.
Okay.
There's so much hype in crypto, they can't overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
Got to be realistic, transparent about timelines and challenges, and they need to keep people engaged over the long term.
Keep the momentum going.
Exactly. Provide value, updates, new initiatives, opportunities to participate.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Speaking of challenges, what about the risks, the roadblocks they might hit along the way?
Security breaches are a big one. Always a risk for any blockchain project.
Yeah, no system is perfect.
Supra needs to be vigilant, always looking for and patching vulnerabilities.
Like a constant arms race.
Uh-huh.
Got to stay one step ahead of the bad guys. What other potential pitfalls are out there?
Regulatory stuff is always a big question mark.
The governments.
Yeah, they're still figuring out what to do with crypto. Any changes they make could really mess things up for Supra.
That's a wild card for sure.
And then there's the challenge of attracting enough users, enough developers.
Yeah.
You need that to create a thriving ecosystem.
I see.
Without enough people using it, building on it, it's tough to gain traction.
Like a chicken and egg thing, right?
Exactly. Developers want to build where the users are. Users want cool apps. Supra's got to convince both sides that their platform is the place to be.
That's a tough sell.
And they can't fall behind technologically either.
Right.
This space moves so fast, they have to keep innovating, keep improving.
Always got to be one step ahead.
Exactly. And then there's the human element, too.
What do you mean?
Well, even with the best tech, the best team, things can go wrong.
Scandals, bad press.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Reputation is everything in this industry.
So how do they handle a PR crisis?
They have to be ready, be transparent, address concerns head on.
No sweeping things under the rug.
Exactly. They have to own their mistakes and fix them.
So, lots of potential pitfalls. But let's zoom out for a second. Big picture. If they succeed, what kind of impact could they have on the world?
Well, their vision is to make blockchain more accessible.
Easier to use.
Yeah, for everyone, not just tech people. They want to build a platform that can power real-world stuff, not just trading and speculation.
That's a big goal. What industries could they disrupt?
Oh, lots of them. Finance is the obvious one.
Payments, transfers, all that.
Yep. Supra could make it all faster, cheaper, more efficient.
Interesting. And beyond finance.
Definitely. Gaming, for one.
Gaming.
They have this provably fair random number generator that could revolutionize games, in-game economies. Then there's supply chain management.
Okay.
Blockchain could bring transparency, traceability to how goods move around the world.
I see.
And healthcare. Imagine a world where medical records are on a blockchain.
Secure, private.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Patients would have more control over their own data. So yeah, the potential impact is huge.
Sounds like it. Okay, but let's get down to brass tacks. Is Supra a good investment?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. What do you think?
Well, you got to remember, crypto is risky.
Right.
The price of Supra, it could go way up, it could crash.
No guarantees.
None whatsoever.
So what should people keep in mind if they're thinking about investing?
Do your research.
On what?
Everything. The team, the tech, the market. Look at the tokenomics, how it's distributed, what it's used for, and understand the risks. Don't invest what you can't afford to lose.
Words to live by.
For sure.
Okay, stepping back a bit. Supra's part of this bigger trend, right? Towards more user-friendly blockchains. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing.
Really?
Definitely. In the early days, blockchain was all about the tech.
Super complex.
Yeah, very technical. But now the focus is shifting towards making it easier for regular people to use.
Which is essential if it's going to go mainstream.
Exactly. Like the internet. Remember the early days of the internet?
Oh, yeah. Dial-up modems.
It was only for techies back then. Now everyone uses it.
Blockchain could be the same.
I think so. But there are still hurdles.
What kind of hurdles?
Scalability, security, that kind of thing. Supra's trying to solve those problems, though, which is great.
So, a lot of potential, but also some challenges to overcome.
That's the story of blockchain, isn't it?
It is. Any final thoughts?
Supra shows how fast things are moving in this space.
I agree.
They're ambitious, they've got the tech, and they really believe in this. There's no guarantee they'll succeed, but they're pushing the limits. It's a journey worth watching, for sure.
I think so, too. It's been a fascinating deep dive into Supra. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Do you have any topic that you would like to have explained? Drop in the comments.